Good evening, friends, and welcome to the Dreary Midnight Podcast. My name is Lisa. My pronouns are she, they.
My name is Celeste. My pronouns are she, her.
And tonight we're talking about the concept of ghost brides. Let's get into it. Intro music.
Intro music.
We're sitting as far across the table from each other as we can.
It is hilarious because we were supposed to record at Lisa's and then
my husband got sick.
Yeah.
And now Celeste is also sick, so
you can't escape the illness.
Yeah.
But thankfully it's a Lisa episode.
Yeah. Somehow I've just gotten allergies and that's it. So there's a few different stories I want to talk about, and there's two kind of categories, right? There's a ghost bride as the haunting.
We should have done this closer to your wedding.
Yeah, but 'tis what it is. Anyway, so there's a ghost bride as a ghost story, like in the City Tavern in Philadelphia, where a ghost of a woman who died on her wedding day will show up in a viewfinder if you hold your wedding there. Like there's a story or two where they're taking wedding photos and the girl who died showed up in the viewfinder as as they're doing the bridal portraits. But
she just wanted to join the
just
party.
Be part of the action, right? Another legend of a ghost bride is from Brown Mountain.
Oh my goodness. I was also, there was like another video that I watched, so something about Brown Mountain. I was like, wow, now that I know about it, I'm hearing so much about it.
Yeah. But this is from the wilkesrecord.com/legend of the ghost bride. One of Brown Mountain's most enduring ghost stories tells of a young bride who vanished on her wedding night in the late 1800s. A version of this story first appeared in the Morganton Herald in the 1920s. Tale goes that she and her groom set out in a carriage towards their mountain homestead, but somewhere on the dark and winding road, tragedy befell them.
No.
It's said that the groom arrived home alone, disheveled and wild-eyed, stammering that his bride had wandered away into the black night, and his frantic, desperate calls to her went unanswered. Searchers scoured the ridgeline for days, carrying lanterns and calling her name, but no trace of the young bride was ever discovered. At last, her kin buried her empty coffin in the family graveyard. Now, on certain October nights, a lone light is seen moving across Brown Mountain, pausing here and there as if searching. Some say it's the lost bride's lantern, eternally looking for her groom. Others whisper that if you meet the light halfway, you'll hear the rustle of a wedding dress in the leaves and feel a cold hand slip into yours.
Oh, no.
If you are like, oh, yeah, Brown Mountain, what's that? Where have I heard that before? It's also home of the Brown Mountain Lights.
Yes.
Which Celeste did an entire episode on. Which could also be, I think, in the category of Will-o'-the-Wisps.
I think it's an Appalachian Anomaly episode.
Yeah.
Which we haven't done one of those in a bit, so.
No, we haven't.
Maybe I should.
Ought to.
Yeah. Get on that.
Similar geographically is, or at least used to live, the Pawnee tribe.
Sorry, it's Clem.
Gets it. Yeah. But there's a story called The Ghost Bride from Pawnee lore. This is from worldhistory.org. And this says, the story shares similarities in theme and detail with the more popular tale, The Ghost Wife. But in The Ghost Bride, the young man who encounters the spirit is also finally responsible for what happened to him. But in this case, he has no idea he's dealing with a ghost.
What's the difference between a ghost bride and a ghost wife?
So the ghost bride is presumably on their wedding day.
That's true.
But the ghost wife, in which a widower convinces the spirit of his late wife to leave the land of the dead and return with him and their child to the village. In that story, the widower is ultimately to blame for his fate and his child's because of his refusal to accept his loss as a natural aspect of the human condition.
I mean, that's not an easy loss to wrap your head around.
Yeah. So the Ghost Bride story, the one that's here is, I think, from Pawnee Hero Stories and Folktales, published in 1889. So this is Pawnee Hero Stories and Folktales by George Bird Grinnell, who is an anthropologist, and again published 1889. In a place where we used to have a village, a young woman died just before the tribe started on the hunt. When she died, they dressed her up in the fine clothes and buried her, and soon after this, the tribe started on the hunt. A party of young men had gone off to visit another tribe, and they did not get back until after this girl had died and the tribe had left the village. Most of this party did not go back to the village, but met the tribe and went with them on the hunt. Among the young men who had been away was one of them who had loved this girl who had died. He went back alone to the village. It was empty and silent, but before he reached it, he could see far off someone sitting on the top of the lodge. When he came near, he saw that it was the girl he loved. He did not know that she had died, and he wondered to see her there alone, for the time was coming when he would be her husband and she his wife, and she should have been with the rest of the tribe where she would be safe. When she saw him coming, she came down from the top of the lodge and went inside. When he came close to her, he spoke and said, "Why are you here alone in the village?" She answered him, "They have gone off on the hunt. I was sulky with my relations, and they went off and left me behind." The man wanted her now to be his wife, but the girl said to him, "No, not yet, but later we will be married." She said to him, "You must not be afraid. Tonight there will be dances here. The ghosts will dance." This is an old custom of the Pawnee. When they danced, they used to go from one lodge to another, singing, dancing, and hallooing. So now, when the tribe had gone and the village was deserted, the ghosts did this. He could hear them coming along the empty streets and going from one lodge to another. They came into the lodge where he was and danced about and whooped and sang, and sometimes they almost touched him, and he came pretty near to being scared. The next day, the young man persuaded the girl to go on with him and follow the tribe to join in on the hunt. They started to travel together, and she promised him that she would surely be his wife, but not until the time came. They overtook the tribe, but before they got to camp, the girl stopped. She said, "Now that we've arrived, but you must go first to the village and prepare a place for me. Where I sleep, let it be behind a curtain. For 4 days and 4 nights I must remain behind this curtain. Do not speak of me. Do not mention my name to anyone." The young man left her there and went into the camp. When he got to his lodge, he told a woman, one of his relations, to go out to a certain place and bring in a woman who was waiting there for him. His relative asked him, "Who is this woman?" And to avoid speaking her name, he told who her father and mother were. His relation, in surprise, said, "It cannot be that girl, for she died some days before we started on the hunt." When the woman went to look for the girl, she could not find her. The girl had disappeared. The young man had disobeyed her and had told her who she was. She had told him that she must stay behind a curtain for 4 days and that no one must know who she was. Instead of doing what she had said, he told who she was and that the girl disappeared because she was a ghost. If he had obeyed the girl, she would have lived a second time upon the earth. That same night, this young man died in his sleep. Then the people were convinced that there must be a life after this one.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, it's an interesting sort of philosophy of just because you see it doesn't mean it's there. And sometimes you have to work with what's already there and sometimes you have to move on. Also, why did nobody tell this guy that his girlfriend had died?
For days.
For several days. Okay, I can understand there's no cell phones, whatever.
Yeah.
But
there were obviously people in the village who knew that she had died
and
who were talking to him.
Why is it that there was okay, did nobody think to say, all right, 2 or 3 of you hang on back and break the news to this guy in private? Was that not an option?
I like how the only time he knows is when he asks someone else. Maybe he was just not with the other people for a few days or something. But then when you see him, won't you automatically be like, "Oh, I have some bad news"?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But then I guess it also requires a lot of intercommunication as well. Who's going to tell him? Because I can also see another situation where everyone assumes somebody else is going to say it.
Oh. I mean, but death was not super uncommon. Like death is so uncommon nowadays because we have so much medicine, hospitals, things that keep people alive. I feel like we just aren't familiar with death. But back in the day, people died all the time. Like I don't think it was such a delicate thing. I mean, yes, it's a delicate thing, but like I feel like people like you know, people are probably more familiar
Mm,
with the concept of death,
yeah.
you know?
Mm.
How did she die again? I know you said in the beginning. Did it say how?
Hang on.
Or did it just say that she died?
Yeah. No, just that she died.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
maybe it was like a bad accident and nobody wanted to take the blame for it or something.
Well, I mean, it also says he doesn't get back until after everybody's gone on to site number 2. And like everyone's done all the burial and all the mourning and all of that. And so I wonder if nobody thought to mention it because they're like, oh, yeah,
Maybe
we
they
did the
assumed
funeral
he
and the whatever.
knows.
Yeah.
I could see the like assuming that he
Yeah.
knows thing. Or
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, we've already moved on.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Well, it sucks because this is totally a Orpheus and Eurydice type situation.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I mean, at least it has a semi-happy ending if we assume that they died, that they get to be together in the afterlife.
Yeah. But back to like spooky stories. Or not like back to spooky stories, but like something that's more in like
Malicious, malevolent.
this is from Reddit. r/true scary stories. Posted 10 months ago.
I don't know how much I trust Reddit. I mean, I think I trust them a lot with certain things, and then,
Yeah.
but I'm
I
excited.
mean, so this is true scary stories. So it's not like
It's
r/no
not like No
sleep
Sleep where
where
it's
it's all
like,
fictional and meant
but
to.
people just pretend that
Yeah.
it's real. Yeah.
Yeah. But the description is r/true scary stories, a place to share your true scary stories. A community could be paranormal, crime related, or anything else that made on the hair of the back of your neck stand up.
Ooh.
Rules: number 1, be civil. Number 2, no untrue stories. Also, no AI.
I trust Reddit more than I trust AI.
Yeah, but Reddit users sometimes use AI, which sucks.
Aw. I trust, what's that meme that's like, if I have a problem, I trust the guy on Reddit with this specific problem from 13 years ago more than
Yes.
I trust the
Yeah.
AI like overview.
Yes, exactly. So the TLDR of this one is around Halloween a year ago, I saw what looked like the ghost bride from our Halloween projector standing in my hallway at night. When I checked the living room, the projector had been unplugged. About a year or so after my experience with the ghost lady, I now call the red candle lady. So user 12 has lore, apparently. I had another strange encounter. It was around Halloween, a time I always loved. The air felt great, and I was excited for the pumpkin pie and all the spooky decorations. That year, my family bought this Halloween
pie.
Yes.
Sorry.
That year, my family bought this Halloween projector that could display all sorts of scary videos on surfaces. Funny little pumpkins laughing, zombies, skeletons, ghosts, the usual stuff. But one video in particular stood out to me, The Ghost Bride. The video showed a woman in a wedding dress. At first, she seemed normal. Well, as normal as a ghost could be. She would float in one spot and gesture with her finger as if beckoning you to come closer. As the video continued, she would slowly move from one side of the window to the other. The projector was designed to display these videos on windows, by the way. Eventually, the ghost bride would start crying, floating up and down, and then she'd let out a scream. But my family couldn't point the projector at the window since our window was too big, and we had huge blinds covering most of it. So instead, they aimed the projector at the wall inside the house where everyone could see it. Anyway, one night I was getting ready for bed, and my dad told me to go turn on the projector like usual. I turned it on, got into bed, and everything felt normal until about 2 or 3 a.m. I noticed a faint white light coming down the hallway, similar to the light I saw the red candle lady I mentioned earlier. At first, I didn't think much of it and went back to sleep, but a few minutes later, I noticed...
Wait. You saying you're seeing a light that reminds you of a ghost you previously saw, and then you say, I don't think much of it? How many ghosts does this guy have?
A lot, apparently. So I didn't think much of it and went back to sleep. But a few minutes later, I noticed the light getting brighter. Then I saw what seemed to be a glowing white cloth moving across my doorframe. Curious and uneasy, I walked to the door and saw the ghost bride standing there. She turned her head and looked right at me, then made the same hand gesture from the projector video, motioning for me to come closer. I knew this wasn't normal. Terrified, I immediately went back to bed, covered up, and stayed still for a few minutes. When I finally got the courage to check again, I peeked into the hallway, but this time nothing was there. Even stranger, the projector wasn't running. None of the Halloween videos were playing. Confused, I went to the living room to see what was going on and realized the projector was completely unplugged. I know for a fact that I didn't unplug it that night. I have no idea if my parents went into the living room after I fell asleep and unplugged it, but they never mentioned doing so. All I know is that I saw the ghost bride standing in my hallway just like the one from the projector video.
And the projector wasn't pointing toward the hallway. It was pointing to a wall.
Presumably, yes.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
How much, not to immediately be skeptic, but do you think maybe could have been like a dream thing because
There is
he
a
just
possibility
saw
of that. Like,
that
I'm not...
before he went to bed?
I don't want to, like, completely rule that out either.
Yeah. That's still terrifying, though.
It is still real scary, though.
Yeah.
The last one I'm going to mention...
I feel like we could go like 4 hours on Ghost Brides.
Yeah,
It's such
no kidding. But the last one I'm going to mention is the idea of Chinese ghost marriages.
I've heard of these.
Yeah. This is the basic sort of thing from Wikipedia. In Chinese tradition, a ghost marriage refers to a marriage in which one or both of the parties are deceased. The practice can be traced back to the Han Dynasty, and with its participants being wealthy. Its origins stem from the yin and yang philosophy, where the yin has to merge with the yang in order to achieve harmony, and the philosophy of life after death.
Yeah.
It was believed that if a person had died unmarried, their spirit would feel lonely in the afterlife. As these spirits are unable to find harmony, they would return to cause harm to the living family members and their descendants.
Got it.
Due to this belief, living family members would seek out deceased individuals of the opposite sex to accompany the deceased during burial. Many consider the real purpose of ghost marriages to be the appeasement of the minds of the living. It's a form of bereavement therapy practiced in ancient times that is kept alive in various communities today, which also makes some degree of sense.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, oh, our daughter died before she was married. Who's going to take care of her in the afterlife? Well, we can find someone.
Yeah. And especially I read somewhere in...
So that you believe that they are then more fulfilled and happy.
Yeah, and I also read somewhere, I cannot track, if I can track it down, I'll link it, but I read somewhere that there is often a belief that how you lived in the structures of your life will roll over to your structures in death. So if you're like a middle class worker, you're gonna be a middle class worker in death. And so if you're unmarried in life, then you're not gonna have a companion in death.
Yeah.
So this goes on to say, for women in traditional Chinese cultures, ghost marriages are often performed as it is considered shameful to be parents of an unwed daughter, with unmarried girls often being shunned. For men, ghost marriages are performed for the sake of progeny, as they allow the family's lineage to carry on. The idea is that the spouse of a deceased man could adopt a child who would then carry on the lineage of the man's family.
So because you can do ghost marriages, can you do them with a living person?
Sometimes, yes. Or sometimes to, like, especially if somebody's engaged and one of them dies before the wedding, they can still, like, do a ceremony.
If there's an engagement and the man dies, then the living woman can still marry the man, and any, like, any kid she adopts after that is considered the deceased husband's child. And /
she's considered a widow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Yeah. So there are a few types, namely previously engaged, which we just discussed. Because, like, the downside of it is some are hesitant about such proceedings. Some women are hesitant, as these forms of ghost marriages would require them to participate in the funeral rites and the mourning customs, which entail a strict dress code and standard of conduct, take a vow of celibacy, and immediately take up residence with the deceased groom's family. And so, yes, you're considered this person's widow, but you have to then do widow duties and not newlywed duties.
Is it like indefinitely you're a widow, or is it for a certain time?
So,
because if it's just for a certain time period,
if you do that for a few years, then it's like, okay, there's an end date and you're allowed to find somebody else. But
if anybody knows more about this, chime in.
Yeah, please chime in. Atlas Obscura says a family whose son or daughter has died at a young age may come to believe that the deceased person is communicating a desire to be wed. This message can take the form of a spirit wreaking general havoc on the family, such as causing illness that do not respond to conventional treatments. A restless bachelor ghost may also express his desire to be married by appearing in a family member's dream or will being channeled through a spirit medium during a seance. Most ghost marriages are conducted to unite the spirits of two departed souls rather than a wedding a dead person and a living one.
Probably less messy.
Yeah. And also, see above RE having to act like a widow when you never actually got to marry the person in the first place.
Yeah. Although, to be honest, if you were in love with the person, you'd be acting like a widow anyway.
Yeah. But I did find sort of an academic paper on a novel about this exact concept.
Ghost Bride? Or
about Ghost Bride.
Marriages?
Like the novel is called The Ghost Bride by Yangzi Chu. I hope I said that right. Please, again, I studied Greek and not Chinese, and I know there's a lot of tones, so I probably said something entirely different. So sorry about that. The novel is like somebody gets ghost married, and there's certain rituals that you have to do. And in the book, I think one of the rituals is like, oh, okay, you go, you stand here, you drink a thing, you say a word, whatever, and go over here. But going and drinking the thing and saying the words sends her to the spirit realm.
Oh.
And that's what the novel's about. Is like going and find her spirit husband. But yeah, it's getting added to my TBR now.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. But yeah, it's mostly between two dead people. Again, to get a little bit better of a circumstance in the afterlife, or at least get some kind of companionship for a little while.
And gives the family some
closure
and peace of mind.
And I think honestly though that having I like the idea of having rituals like these.
Yeah. Because
I honestly think funerals are for the living as much as they are for the dead.
I mean, they're only for the living, because the dead are already moved on,
Yeah, but it's still sort of, it depends on the culture, right? Because like in ancient Greece, you had to like put the coin in the mouth so that you could pay Charon to go. And if you didn't, then they're just stuck on the banks until someone thinks to do it, right? And so I think the idea of trying to help somebody out is sort of a even in death and even in the next life, I think is a very human thing, like trying to help somebody out. I talk more about this when I have tours at Arlington Cemetery, but like Tombs of the Unknowns, I honestly think having the ritual of bringing home an unknown is for the living as much, if not more so, as it is for the dead. Because the first unknowns were World War I, and they didn't have cell phones in World War I. You barely got telegrams out to the wherever, out to the trench warfare. And so literally just 3 bodies were taken from one of the mass graves in France, and one was chosen to come back. And so then people at home could say to themselves, that was my brother, cousin, father, whoever. And I think it's a similar sort of sentiment here. Well, okay, I did what I could for this person. I was able to make sure that they had something in the next circumstance. Yes. But I love the idea of the afterlife as a concept, though. Which is weird because I'm terrified of death, but it's
the afterlife softens the horror of death, because
well, and I think it was Mark Twain, or I don't know, some quote I saw on the internet is like, I'm not opposed to the idea of my own death, I just don't want to be there for it. And that's my exact philosophy.
That's legitimately it. I just don't want to suffer, but I'm not, and this is my own thing. I don't want to die before I'm quote unquote ready. Nobody can choose when they're going to die. But like, I would hate to die with a bunch of unfinished business,
Right. Listen, come and haunt me, haunt my dreams. I'll help you get it done.
If one of us dies, we have to haunt each other. Okay. We're going to promise that.
But is this going to be like a Houdini situation where the timelines get all messed up? I don't know. Anyway, how would you haunt your loved ones, dear listeners? Would you want to get ghost married? let us know. drearymidnightpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at drearymidnightpod. Also, Celeste didn't ask me to do this, I'm going to do it anyway. Follow at Sunbug Studios because they're doing Celeste and our friend Ali are doing this really great webcomic about someone who falls in love with the narrator of their own story. It's like Strangers in Fiction, but hopefully with nobody dying at the end of it. I haven't read it yet. I don't have any spoilers, but follow Sunbug Studios for that. And,
thank you. That's so sweet.
And if you want to support us with money, patreon.com/drearymidnightpod. And with all that said, again, only haunt people who consent to it. And safe travels home on this dreary midnight. Good night.
Good night.